in the dark of the night. I'm playing Pac-Man, it's my second life. The joysticks in my hand, I'm unstoppable. High score secrets, I've got them all unlocked. Memories rush back like a time machine. Take me back to the arcade, where I spent my younger days. In the black lights glowing on a pocket full of tokens. Dance and groove to the beat, on the pixelated screen we meet. New wave melodies playing loud. Lost in the arcade, my heart is found. With hair and red fashion, we were all quite a sight. Popping tokens in the cabinet, it's the thrill of the fight. We save the world through pixelated dreams. We're the greatest generation with a faded acid genes. Take me back to the...
Hello, everyone. I am super excited for this session because I love Rosebud. I found it. Scott Bricker actually introduced me to Rosebud. I was like, man, there's this tool called, I don't remember what it was called, but Dimitri Shapiro had it, and you could build like a Crossy Road. And I wanted to make some sort of leaderboard game for Week of AI. And he's like, well, I found this really cool tool called Rosebud. And I went in and I got put on this wait list. And then I just started spamming anyone with Rosebud in their Twitter title, like, or X title, I guess X, Twitter is the X. And I got in and I made like 10 games the first night in a Chaucer bot. And I was up for like 20 something hours, maybe 26 hours, just figuring it out. It is a rabbit hole. Rosebud is a rabbit hole. And without further ado, Lisha Li, who is the founder, and Jason, who is, I don't know your official title, but he's a big deal at Rosebud. And he's very responsive in the Discord if you haven't joined the Discord. And I truly believe this is going to revolutionize game creation and coding for education.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, Jason is a indie dev. He's our power user. He's created so many of the games and templates. And as you say, one of the most prolific members of our community as well on Discord. So yes, definitely a big deal. Well, thank you so much. That's awesome. And yeah, Amanda really inspired us. She reached out on Twitter. I saw her asking for access. I was like, yep, just join the Discord. I'll make sure you get access. And then she went and made like over 10, 20 games in a day. I was like, wow, okay, we gotta make sure that this is working for her and her community. So,
and my 15-year-old daughter is making them.
Wow.
And what's really cool is we entered the games that we made together for the ISTE Innovator AI Innovator contest. And I just heard back on Friday that I think we're finalists. And I think
oh my God. Oh, well, you definitely have to share with us. Yeah. So that's the thing, like also like people collaborating, like parent and child, we're super stoked about that use case as well, because you can learn together and then be able to do something that's like, super constructive, but then also really fun. So yeah.
And she's 15 and can do it. Yeah.
And that's our point. It's like, you don't have to be technical. I mean, we'll kind of go over that in the presentation, but like you can learn to be more technical and learn to code, but you are really just interacting in natural language and creating games. And that's kind of our hope. Like you don't have to be, you just have to have good story to tell or good ideas in order to learn how to make games. And it should be that way. Okay, well, so we have a presentation for you today. I think Jason's going to share screen. Super excited. As Amanda mentioned, I'm the founder of Rosebud. We're a small team. We've been working at it for a couple of years, but in the last year, we've really honed in on the game editor and game creation platform. So we're excited to tell you more about that today. Rosebud, we're really aiming to show how teachers around the world can create unique, fun, interactive educational experiences with our platform. So we can go to the next slide. So here's a brief overview. So we'll first talk about how Rosebud works. We'll show you how to make games, where you can give Rosie a coined actually by our community. Rosie is the name of our AI chatbot, and she was willed into existence with that name. I guess they started giving her a personality because she has a bit of a personality when you chat with her. So we'll show you how to use Rosie to make playable games. And then we'll move on to focus on one of our game templates created just for Week of AI. It's called the AI Characters in Education. And we'll discuss how you can use this template in the classroom. Next up, we'll give a tutorial on how you can create your own AI character game by editing and modding the AI character template that we introduced. And then finally, we conclude with a showcase of all of your game jam submissions. So stay tuned for that, because we'll be able to show basically a bunch of the interactive experiences that this Week of AI community was able to make this last 2 weeks. So it was great to see the uptake on that. So yeah, moving straight into it. All right, let's play the video. So basically, here's the play.rosebud.ai page. If you click play, there we go. So you go to play.rosebud.ai, you can see all these games that are made there. Below is a template. If you like a game that you're seeing, you can obviously click play, as you saw there. But if you really basically want to explore more and you're inspired by it, you can click clone, which is basically a way to copy the project and then be able to mod it. So this short video takes you through the steps of like how to navigate through the landing page and be able to both play and clone and start creating your own game. So it's quite easy to get started. And all of these games, as you saw in the publish button, are actually provided via URL. So that means that if you have internet access, you can play a Rosebud game. So that means, if you're on a mobile phone, you're obviously on a computer with internet access. But even say a VR headset, as long as it has a browser, you can enter that URL and you can access these games. So, if you actually create basically, any of these experiences or games are very easily accessible and shareable. All right, moving on to the next slide. Here you see the user interface for Rosebud game creation. So on the left side, there's a display of the live view of the game that you're making. And on the right side, you have a chat interface. So as you can see, there's tabs for code editing and game assets. But the chat interface, we start by suggesting some prompts that you can start asking Rosie about in order to get your game started or get kind of started creating and modding the game that you're working on. All right. Next. So here in particular, we're highlighting different ways that you can interact with Rosie. So Rosie, reminder again, is like the name given to our AI chatbot by the community. She explains code changes. She knows multiple languages and can give you ideas to help you make your game better. So these are some of the ways that you can interact with her in chat. You can get really creative and basically, like the sky's the limit. And if there's something confusing, there's something not working, you can ask Rosie about it. She doesn't just generate code by, you describing your game. There's many ways to interact with her. And of course, we're also always looking for feedback in terms of like how to improve the interactions with Rosie so that she can be a better partner to help you make games. All right, next slide. Great. Okay, so as you saw in the right side, we had the chat tab. Now we're moving on to the code tab. So in the code tab, you can manually edit the game's code, and this gives you flexibility to work on code on your own if you have some of the technical ability to do so. So obviously, knowing how to code is absolutely not necessary to get started on Rosebud or to even make a fully flashed, very complicated game on Rosebud. But this feature is particularly valuable if you're teaching coding to kids because, obviously they can learn by making real changes in the Rosebud code editor, and you can even ask Rosie to explain parts of the code base. So there's basically ways to really augment your learning, not only by just like being able to edit the code, but using Rosie as like an extra kind of partner and educator on like, what is this part of the code base doing? Like if I do this, what happens, etc. All right, next up is the Asset tab. So that's the final tab in the code editor, and it manages your in-game assets. So not surprisingly, that's a place that you can generate new game assets. So that means you can generate images from text description, and you can select from a list of styles in the bottom, as you can see there, of basically styles for images that you want to generate so that they remain consistent. They can also come with transparent backgrounds. So for instance, if you're generating a character, you don't want the character to also have a background. So you can generate that with just selecting background removed. And lastly, you don't have to use Rosebud assets. I mean, our goal is just to make it super simple to make games. So if you have assets from your favorite other image generation platform, or you even have assets that you've made your own, some of our community members, they come as artists. They are either sound designers, or they've created, just their own handmade art. They can upload those assets too, and that if that helps make their game more authentic or unique, they can upload it and add it into their games. And keep in mind, this is not just visual assets. There are also, you can upload audio assets. So there's, we find that they really help color a game in a really helps establish the atmosphere. Okay. So next up is we're discussing, AI characters in education. So now that you have an idea of how to use Rosebud to create games, we can explore how this template is used in education. So primarily these were inspired by, learning from Amanda and her community, or all of you guys here who told us about these use cases. So as starters, project-based learning, Amanda suggests that using the template to create AI characters focused on specific topics to aid in design thinking and planning processes. So this helps students outline and manage their projects effectively. And AI characters are simple to create with Rosebud, and they can serve as interactive learning tools as well. So that includes like helping, suggesting the classroom to make a language tutor or historical figures, or an interactive web page to let people chat with famous writers and poets that they're studying. So yeah, I'm really thrilled with all the comments as well. The introduction to coding, I mean, this is kind of what our wish is. It's like, it just makes it really fun because you're not just like learning theory, you just get to make a game instantly. And I think that, at least for me, is like the most exciting way to learn something. Like, I want to see the fruits of my labor instantly. And so not only can I make something and I can see the game, but now I can actually share it with other people as well. So you can kind of like be proud of what you're able to make. So, all right, this brings us to the next part of this presentation. So Jason, I'm pretty excited, will be demonstrating a live example of how to create an AI character using our template.
All right, okay, I'll switch screens right now.
All right.
Get us to awesome. And we'll get started showing off a live example of how you would make your own easy AI character. There we go. All right, so when you go to the Rosebud homepage, you see all the trending games here. Yes, at the top left, we have our Week of AI Character template. This is the template that we recommend to get started with if you do want to make your own AI character. So to get started, you can hit this clone button here, like Lisha went over earlier, and then you have your own fresh copy of the project. Awesome. So over here, you can see on the left, this is the game. The character is Dr. Lara Miles.
Oh, I think some people said they can't see the screen.
You cannot see.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me.
Oh, there we go. Okay, well, we can just restart.
Awesome. Yes. Good now? Oh,
No worries.
should
Okay,
I go back to the? Should I go back to the me?
Good.
Start from here.
Everyone's paying attention,
Okay.
so
Okay,
we'll
good.
keep us on our toes. There we go.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, what I did, I don't know if everybody saw this, but what I did was I was at this Rosebud homepage here. Here's where this is the trending section of Rosebud. This is what you'll see when you first get to the website. And then on the top left here, the #1 trending project right now is the Week of AI Character template. This is the fastest way to get started making your own AI characters, and it's definitely what we recommend. To start with, you can hit the clone button right here to get your own fresh copy. And it'll take you to here. Now you can see the user interface that Lisha went over earlier. And then over on the left side, you see in the game view here, we have our character. It's Dr. Lara Miles. She's a scientist, a cool scientist. And then you can say whatever you want to say, like, Cool to meet you. And then the character will spawn according to their personality. And everything about your character is actually defined in the code here. You can see in the code tab, we have a character description. You are Dr. Lara Miles, a brilliant and eccentric scientist, and there's all the other cool information about her. But you actually can change every single thing about her, including her image, just by generating a character image over here and then prompting Rosie to make the change you want. But we'll do that right now. So for the first thing we'll do, we want to have our image we want to change to first. So let's say we wanted to make a character that we found was fun to make before is we want to make a cat in a lab coat that teaches you poetry. So a cat poetry teacher. So if you wanted to do that, we would head over to the asset tab and we go down here. We click anything without background. It's like a good option for general things you want to generate, but that don't have a background, like a character, for example. You can see in our character here, there's no background behind her. So we hit anything without background, and then we can say cat teacher in a big lab coat. There we go. And then we can generate as many as we want. You don't have to wait for it to be done. So we can say cat in a big white lab coat. Yeah, so we can wait for, normally, you want to try generate a few times so you can find the one you like the best, because each one will have their own slight differences. Yeah, we'll wait for that. That shouldn't take more than a few seconds. And then we will go and write our prompt for Rosie to make our description or changes to the character description over here. So there we go. There we go. We have our cool cat teacher. I like this one. You'll wait for another one too, but we can get started. So now we have our image here. We go back to the chat tab and we want to write our prompt. So for your prompt, we will simply say that we want to change the character to, and then put our character name, then we write who they are, and then we will then tell Rosie what image you want to use. So I'll say, please change the character to, I don't know a good name for a cat teacher, but
Cat.
Miss.
Is it Miss?
Sorry, what was it?
Oh, no, go on. Sorry. You come on.
Sorry. I was going to do Mr. Mittens. First thing that came to my head.
Oh, I like that, actually.
Sure. Mr. Mittens. They are a giant cat teacher in a lab coat that loves their job and teaches poetry. They are very posh. Okay, so there we go. So I said, please change the character to Mr. Mittens. They are a giant cat teacher in a lab coat that loves their job and teaches poetry. They are very posh. And we can put the image as, please use the, and then we hit at. And when you say at, it shows you all your recently generated images in the asset tab. We click this one. That's the one we like. Image. And then this prompt should work. So now Rosie's going to work on that for probably roughly 30 seconds, maybe a little bit more. And then after that, we should have our response where we can apply the changes, and we can then see our changes in the left side here. Again, we can see at the beginning here, the name of the character is defined here, the description is here, and the background actually of the whole scene, this lab, is here, and then the character image is here. You can also change these manually too. Like if you have a link, you're linked to your character image that you like, or you have a really good idea for your character description and you want to just change it yourself right now, you can very quickly go in here and make those changes simply for the name. All right, let's wait for this. Depending on the kind of change, it can take a little bit more time, but usually anywhere around 60 seconds, you should have a change for you to apply. Oh, and actually, we can also go over this too. At the bottom here, we just got our change. That sound means that we're ready to go. This is right here. These are the different songs that can play in this. So if you have songs you would like to add to the playlist, you can paste the links to them here. Okay, so now we have our change. Awesome. You can see here, it changes the character name to Mr. Mittens. We have this new description. So when we can just hit apply and then hit this button over here to reload our project so we can see our changes. And there we go. We have Mr. Mittens in the classroom. And Mr. Mittens says, Dear student, I see you have arrived. Pray, take a seat and prepare to immerse yourself in the world of poetry. Let us embark on this journey together. To say, what is your favorite poem? And then Mr. Midden said, delightful question. Oh, the works of Bard, William Shakespeare. Yeah, these advanced poetry. Awesome. So you can see how that's how you can make a very quick change to your character. This could be, you could do this for anything, any single idea you have. You can put it here as who the character is. You can say a different subject. You can say that they teach poetry by rhyme, and everything they say is a rhyme. You could say they make jokes every time they talk. You can say anything like that. They speak like a robot. Anything you can think of, you can put that in the description, and then 60 seconds, and you have your whole new character. Awesome.
All right.
If there's anything else you wanted to show?
No, that's great. Do people have any questions?
Yeah.
I'll go move on. I mean, yeah, I love that it's so active in the comments.
Yes.
And yes, I know there's some questions about the Discord gatekeeping. So just for everyone to know, we are actually, originally because there was a large wait list, we use Discord as a way to answer questions and make sure the community can help our, beta testers. But right now we're finding that's quite, frustrating gateway for a lot of people. So we're going to remove it. It's coming up in the next 2 weeks, hopefully much sooner this week. But if you are having trouble, we've given the support at RosebudAI.com email, so you can reach us and we'll figure something out. But otherwise, yes, expect Discord gateway to be gone, so you can just log in with Gmail. Can the AI character logic be used in Phaser? That was one question. This is actually written in Phaser. Is that what you mean, or can you clarify the question? I guess as we wait for that, somebody else also said, the one thing I haven't figured out is the right way to prompt the bot in either template to have shorter responses. The code has to be full. So if maybe you mean the responses, yeah, I'd be curious to know what you mean by shorter responses, and we can definitely discuss that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm guessing it's the responses of the actual character, because characters by default have lengthy responses. So.
Oh, yes. The character can be really verbose. Yeah, we're trying to actually fix that too. So it's a good question. And yes, the 2D template is based on the Phaser game engine. So anything that you're doing with character stuff is in 2D, and so that works. We're also just working to support a bunch of other game engines and basically have Rosie be able to manipulate and generate code in all of them. Or would you be able to use your mic? Actually, I think some users have been able to hack something like that in the system. So talk to us on Discord if it's not working out for you, and we can figure it out. But we would love to make it voice enabled. And I think there's some projects that already at least have voice output, but voice input, I think either you have to use some external API to process that, or there's some way to there's some web systems to do that. Okay, well, we'll definitely take more of these questions at the end of the presentation. We still have a couple more slides to show you, so let's get back to that.
Right, I'll switch right back.
Just some fancy, stuff that actually the community's been making. All right, you're just navigating back.
Yes. Right, and then gotta move the screen back up.
All right.
There we go. Awesome.
Yeah, so thank you, Jason. So another thing that we've kept on mentioning, Discord is a good way at least to get the community and us to help you. So a lot of these questions we have constantly, somebody online answering questions, and also just we've noticed the community has been just helping each other a lot, because there's this nice critical mass of folks who've built games already on Rosebud, and they can be pinged and basically can answer your questions as well. So I'll just put it down, the link in the chat, but you can also very easily access it just on like Rosebud.ai and just click the Discord icon. That's basically a place where a bunch of us hang out. But you shouldn't, we're working on like not requiring that just to access the app. It's just there for, helping out when you have questions. All right. We have obviously ran a game jam for Week of AI. And so we wanted to celebrate the submissions with a video of all of the games that have been submitted. So here's a video showcase. And yeah, so Jason can play it.
See us on the road, running fast and fearless, escaping through the fields, no time for rest. Watch.
This is, yeah, I mean, thank you for all your creativity here. I cannot wait to get this in the hands of like more of the kids in the classroom too, because it's like, I mean, I think this is the first time people have been using Rosebud and they just already got so creative with it. So yeah. Okay, so, for the next slide, you'll see that on May 17th, 7:30 p.m. EST, we will be at the closeout session, revealing who the winners are. There's a $500 prize pool, so we already got to show off your submissions, but stay tuned there to see who won the top prizes. Okay, and then last and final slide. Thank you, Amanda, for inviting us and everyone for participating in the Week of AI. We wanted to share a new page that we've made, rosebud.ai/edu, because we're launching an ambassador program, and just, so you can stay in touch with us, and we're going to figure out how to really just make Rosebud amazing for educators. And, we've just this community has just really taken, Rosebud and made just such amazing things. And thank you, Amanda, for, supporting us and just teaching us like how much what we've built is actually useful here. And so we're just eager to make it better. So anyways, go check it out. It's an easy URL to remember. And yeah, just like there's a form there. It's pretty easy just to get in touch with us so we can explain more what we had in mind for the ambassador program. But yeah, that's all. And yeah, if people have more questions, I'm happy to stay here and chat.
So Aaron's comment is how I felt when I found Rosebud. I am going to pull an all-nighter so I can get this in students' hands.
Oh.
And then Dustin, oh my goodness, when this gets in students' hands, they're going to blow us out of the water. That is so true. Like I remember finding code spaces and playing with it and teaching myself. And then I turned it over to students and I was building like basic stuff. And next thing I know, a group of 4 boys were collaborating outside of school and they built an entire Among Us game. Like
oh my God.
Yeah,
I know this is like what I feel like they also like just learn new interfaces much faster. And so it's like you're kind of built it. I totally know what you mean. It's just like, and I haven't even, really directly taught classroom. I just feel like I'm really excited to see what the kids do with this.
Dustin, you have 6 days left with the kiddos, which means you have summer to play with this, figure it out, and make some cool projects around it. Because, Lisha and I have been talking, there's going to be some student game jams that we're going to launch, hopefully come fall. So everyone watching, play with this summer, envision how it fits into your curriculum. Yes, it is a prompt to code platform, but coding, game design, it belongs in every classroom, every content area. You can teach content alongside of digital literacy and coding literacy. And I think when they're taught hand in hand and they're not siloed, they're the most effective. So I can't wait. Just in the last month, what I've seen you do with Rosebud EDU, and just every time I go back onto the website, it's changed a little bit.
Yeah. Small, but yeah, like just tell us what you guys need, and this is why we created this form and website, because it's like I know not everyone's using Discord as well, so you can stay really like tightly coupled with us, and we're just here eager to learn so we can make Rosebud better for this use case, because clearly it's already somewhat useful, and we're eager to get it in the hands of kids as well. So yeah, this is awesome. So will there be an EDU channel? I think that's a good idea. Maybe we should make one. Jason's our maestro there for Discord, so he's the man. He's the man. So he's smiling and nodding. So
it's becoming more ubiquitous as esports have risen. So a lot of esports are centered in Discord. That's where the communications are happening there on Twitch. So I think it would make sense to have like a student support channel that's it's not NSFW. It's like suitable for school and just a safe place for kids to come in and seek support, guidance, and a community to help each other.
Yeah, we'll make sure that happens. Jason runs these like drop-in office hours too. It's like an audio office hour 3 times a week. So there's many ways to just engage with us and make sure that all the feedback is heard, and we are pushing the product to a place that's like super suited for the educational use case. So yeah, join us there.
Sean asked, what are some good ways to learn? Really just ask your questions, ask people to play your games and offer feedback, because they'll give it. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and the helpful.
Yeah. No, that reminds me. There is a section where you get to post your games and people play it and they comment. And so it's a game showcase section. So there's like many ways. You don't just have to like ask a question about, coding or how to prompt Rosie. You can just go in there, share your games, people play it. And yeah, there's like many ways. There's like a meme section, obviously it's a Discord channel. So
And on Saturday, I'm doing a workshop on chatbots for change. Basically, the project that me and my daughter have been working on. I built it out step by step into how exactly we did it, down to like idiot proof. Like if you clone this project, line 1 of code you change, line 52, line 54. I'm new to this. I'm not an expert. I'm not a pro. I'm still learning. But I can help noobs. So if you're a noob, come to this. Dustin, don't come to this. You will learn nothing from me. I looked at he had the history one.
Oh God. Yeah. No, this is so yeah, if that's being recorded, we'll drop it in our tips channel too. So that it, we have another channel where it's just like people giving tips on how to use Rosebud. Obviously we post, but a lot of other the community members post there, and it's like super helpful. So if you're making that sounds like amazing. It's a great resource for people getting started, especially with the educational use case.
Yeah, it takes them through the prompt. This was before I knew you could prompt characters in Rosebud. So I was using Midjourney and Microsoft Designer. But I picked up some hacks watching y'all's tutorials. So
nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Again, winners will be announced on Friday. So tune back in at 7:30. We're going to do a little bit of gaming prior to our EdTech Mass Singer Karaoke. We would love for the Rosebud team to join us. If you have any singers on your team that would love to come in and jam, it will not be streamed. It will not be recorded.
Thank you. Nobody wants that floating the internet.
A little community space. Everything that happens in the Zoom will stay in the Zoom. And we're going to be doing some karaoke with like AI. So as people are singing their song, we're having a generative art jam going on. So whoever generates the best image for the song, we're giving away prizes during that as well. So EdTech Karaoke is a separate registration because it's not streamed. It is through Zoom. You can find that on the website. Register. It's going to be a fun time. And it's a little bit more of a community because we're face to face and not, getting you through the chat. The chat. It's all of our faces in little squares versus some of our faces and then chats.
Yeah.
Text.
Sign up for that.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Yeah. Minus the singing a little bit. No, just kidding. It's not being recorded. It's not being recorded.
I'm going to break out some AC/DC. So,
all right. Sounds like a good time.
All right. Well, thank you again. This wraps up day 1, and we wrapped up with a bang. We came in hot and heavy with day 1, and day 2, we're expecting to do the same thing. So we hope to see you back tomorrow. We will be here all week. As I look a little frazzled as the week goes on, don't be alarmed. I will sleep on Sunday. So you guys have a wonderful night. And we'll see you back tomorrow at 5:00.
Bye, everyone.
And thank you again to Rosebud. Thank you to Swivel. Thank you to the rest of our sponsors. Tomorrow we'll be looking specifically at quizzes as our daily sponsor. So make sure you tune in for that. All right. Bye.